would like to speak on this resolution. I think this is really important to honor the many achievements, the many contributions that women have made throughout all of history. And I think as we look at the role that women have played throughout history, we tend to think of the women that we know, the women that we love, and the women that have been true heroes in our lives. So when I think of those women, I think of my mother. My mother's name was Norma, and she had the misfortune of, when she was a small child, probably in junior high age, she contracted rheumatic fever. And that was long before they knew exactly what the complications of rheumatic fever were. And so instead of prescribing bed rest, like they would do today, they prescribed fresh air and exercise. And so she managed to ruin all 4 valves of her heart. And so she was pretty sickly, but she was tough, and she was determined. She didn't let things get her down. And so she was a lot sicker than people knew she was. And when she got married, she got through her first pregnancy well, and then she got pregnant again with my second oldest brother. And she went into heart failure while she was pregnant. And so she had an old country doctor who said, stay home until you can no longer sleep sitting up. And she ended up going into the hospital right before Thanksgiving, and she was under an oxygen tent and very sick until my brother was born on January 29th. During that time, she was obviously very weak, and she talked with a whisper. And they thought that it was simply because she was weak, and that as she got stronger, her voice would return. But it never did. And they told my father that she probably wouldn't live to see 25, that he should be prepared for some pretty tough times ahead. But she was strong and she was determined. And she went on to get better, and she went on to have 7 more children. Otherwise, I would not be here. And throughout that time, she never regained her voice. So she raised all 9 of us children with just a whisper. And when I look at that now, as a mother of 5 children, I don't quite understand how she got that job done, But upon reflection, I think the key was that she taught us how to listen. We knew when her voice would change a little bit, when she was angry, or when she was sad, or when we knew we better get moving, right? And so the fact is, my mother struggled to be heard for most of her life. And that's been the story of women throughout all of history. Women have not had a voice. They could not own property. They could not vote. And the story of democracy is expanding the power to speak and participate to more and more people, especially women. In America, as women gained a greater voice, we became a better, more just country. And American women are continuing this story here at the Iowa State House and everywhere, every time they stand up to be heard. Thank you, Mr. President.